Andrew, you're very welcome to Hunter Apparel Solutions today,
Thanks, Simon.
our headquarter building, in our new podcast room. Andrew, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, maybe a little bit of background about how you got to be where you are today.
Okay. So when I left school, I wasn't one of those people that knew what they wanted to do, where they wanted to work. I had friends who wanted to be a pilot, and they wanted to be a pilot, and they knew it from the age of 16.
Yep.
Me, no, I didn't really know. So I kind of tried a lot of different jobs, and I ended up working for Greenham's. So that was 1998 as a trainee buyer.
Okay. Big organization.
Greenham's, this is before. So Greenham's then was bought by Bunzl and became part of the Bunzl empire of that side.
Mhm.
But at that time, we were owned by Taylor Woodrow. So it's part of a big business, trainee buyer, and it was a good commercial grounding. So we did that, then evolved into procurement, category management, and then after 13 years, I took another opportunity with a business called Buck and Nickman, and Buck and Nickman, they got bought by Brammer and became Rubik's, where I kind of did tools and general maintenance and PPE and workwear on a pan-European basis for about 5 years, and then I headed up their tools and general maintenance team in the UK.
And is it fair to say both of those organizations, would they have been multi-billions or sort of hundreds of millions?
Bunzl globally is multi-billion, and it is a massive entity. If you look at Rubik's, with all of the countries involved, we were, just to put under 2 billion across all of the different geographies. And, we then got bought by private equity. And actually, after a period of time within that, I saw the opportunity with Eurosafe, and it looked like a good opportunity in a market, in an industry that I really knew. So it wasn't have to go and learn something new, but actually working from a corporate side to going to work for SME businesses is it's different compared to what you normally would think it would be. So I've been with Eurosafe 4.5 years. I joined January 21. I love it. It's a really good challenge, and we've achieved a lot, and there's still a lot that we can kind of do. Personally, I've been married 17 years. I've got teenagers of 18 and 16. Yes, thank you for welcoming me. It's a great podcast room, and really looking forward to it.
Thank you. For our youngest boy Noah. He's clearing himself off to Europe,
Nice.
to enter Rail or Euro Rail or whatever it's called, and leaving us. But so basically, you've come from working for very, very large organizations. Eurosafe. Tell us a little about Eurosafe. Who are Eurosafe? What do they do? What's important? What are the goals? What does the team look like?
Okay. So when I joined Eurosafe, we had 11 members. So, we had a team of myself, Janine and Vicky. So we're quite a small team, So the difference you have for Eurosafe, we would describe ourselves as a buying alliance rather than a buying group, for the simple fact we're owned by our members. So out of all of those members, everybody has an equal sharehold in who they are, what we are, journey of travel, whether you've been a member since 1988 when it started to the current day. We don't treat anybody differently. Everybody has that same standing. So, it's been really interesting in trying to get to understand the businesses. All of the businesses, yes, they sell PPE and workwear, but they're all different geographically, customer segmentation, their approach to the market, embracing technology, automated warehouses, everybody's different. And what we've tried to really do is, as we've added more members, is, when yourselves join, we try to bring a member that is in a different workspace. So, you do a lot within the blue light industry. We don't have any members that really sit and fit within that space. It avoids the conflict that potentially could come from a buying group, but actually everybody can learn from each other. Our vision is we hit capacity at 23 members is kind of the magic number that we've got. We have 21 at the moment. The reason we say that's complete is for the simple fact that with 23 members, all with an equal voice share, you get bigger than that. You lose a bit of who we are and what we are. And actually, you sit in our board meetings, the momentum, the feeling, the togetherness of the group, considering that everybody actually competes, is really special. And it's a really special environment. By adding too many people, you'll dilute that.
Sure.
So we have to be careful.
I mean, numbers, that we've just gone beyond 20 members. I just had our supplier engagement day about a month ago. Hell of an event. I understand that cost us £250,000.
Yep.
It was quite a big deal. My understanding is that with the 21 members, we're now somewhere close to £250 million in
Yeah.
terms of total revenue of the group. There's some pretty decent numbers in and
Yeah.
amongst that. What's next? What's next?
23 members obviously is probably our next vision. So, that will get us above that figure. And I suppose the interesting, when you talk about that £250 million figure, that, puts us on a level with most of the big nationals within our market. So, suppliers take us in a very serious way. And that's half the reason for the supplier engagement day is to actually link the suppliers with the sales teams and everything else. But it's also a statement to the industry, to the segment that we're in, of this is who we are, this is what we are. And actually the feedback we had from the event from everybody who came was fantastic. We only do the event every 2 years because we don't think enough changes to do it annually for that sort of cost. You've really got to justify it. So we're already now thinking about 2027, which I know seems miles away, but you have to, because the amount of work that goes into actually making sure that these events actually work. What we're now looking, we've employed a lady called Terry. Terry is managing a product information management system. So we're going to start centrally collecting all of our suppliers' data. So rather than 21 individual members having to go to 21 suppliers, manage your website individually, Terry will do that for those suppliers and make sure that that information is 100% perfect and is complete, so that you can give your customers from your website a Amazon stroke user experience, which is what we all expect in our personal life. We've got to better deliver that in our workplace as well. We've employed Mark Abramson. So Mark looks after our bulk purchasing, escrow. There are areas sometimes where we need to price fight. You need to have the right product at the right price. That's where Mark's forte is. We'll never do that to replace brands, but it is aimed at, if somebody is very cheap on a pair of high-vis waistcoat or something like that, it gives us the opportunity to really manage that space. We are looking at our marketing options, how we do it, how we can embrace the likes of AI, because that's only going to get more and more important in our marketplace. But we try and do everything with a really small team. So at the moment we're 5 people. We might go to 6, but do I see us go much beyond that? No, because everything that we do is we charge our members a membership fee for being part of the group. That covers the operating costs of Eurosafe. Because we're owned by our members, we don't aim for the year to finish with millions in the bank, because that's not efficient. So we make sure we don't cost the members more, but it's actually trying to manage that process.
It's a really tight team.
It has to be
of niche experts. So it works very, very well. I mean, that's the big thing for us. Save time on negotiating with suppliers. This PIM thing is going to be quite a big deal for everyone in the group.
But like on the PIM thing, because we've used economies of scale, if you went and did that as your own business, it's costing you a good 6 figures. But actually, we've managed to structure that in a way that we share that cost across the group.
That's a hell of a win, I have to say. Andrew, thanks for coming today. It's nice to have this little chat. And just in closing, anything you want to message to the wider public about Eurosafe, the membership, or perhaps the kind of potential new members you're looking for?
I suppose, what I would say is, if you've got a good spend in PPE and workwear, we have a range of cleaning and hygiene, just reach out, have a conversation. It doesn't hurt to have a chat, because at the end of the day, we will both know within 10 minutes if it's a fit.
Sure.
The numbers will work. I know they do. We've onboarded a lot of new members. We also know that the prices that we offer our members are very competitive, because after onboarding the number of members we have, we've not had many areas where we've come up against prices that are better. So we know that the offer that we've got is credible. And actually, the one thing is, on the group, having 21 like-minded owners of businesses in a room is such a powerful place to be, because there's people there that have been there, done it, seen it. So if you don't know what to do, or you've got a question, or how would you approach this, you've got natural sounding boards of,
Yeah.
hundreds of
Superb
years of
network.
experience. Yeah, and that can't be understated. So, Simon, you've been a member of Eurosafe for a while now. Tell us what attracted Eurosafe.
I think I was approached in 2020, but joined in 2021. I seem to call during the pandemic. Conversations started, and obviously there's a due diligence process that each potential member goes through. And I remember being really impressed with the professionalism actually of that entire scenario. In all honesty, it almost sounded too good to be true. When I was sort of doing the numbers and thinking, okay, this is the joining fee, this is the annual fee, and I'm not going to have to pay staff to do X, Y, Z. This will be done for us, and I'm going to get sort of best in class pricing and so forth. It really did seem too good to be true. But I thought, do you know what? I'll try this for a year or two and see is it as good as it appears to be. And I'm so glad that I did join. I feel like I've made a bunch of really good friends. I love the networking side of it. I love that there's so many learned, experienced people in the room, and it's just so nice. At the end of an evening when we've done our board meetings and we've had dinner and everyone's sitting with a beer and chatting and free flow, when you get to hear the stories of people's careers, I love all of that. But I guess just on a fundamental business level, the raft of suppliers that we get access to at kind of highly competitive pricing, I think there's more than 70 suppliers.
But yeah, just under 70 at the moment, but we're always looking at more. Just to see where we can add, but it gives you access to product categories that you might not normally have pushed as well, but can help your customers consolidate.
And as you mentioned, we are very blue light focused, or transport sector focused, or utility sector focused, and most of what we do is we design products, we manufacture products for our own brand, and sell them through into those organizations. But it's really nice to have access to, I kind of call it wraparound products. So it's a bunch of PPE products, footwear products, accessory products that many organizations could use, and we are just simply customizing them, but using them to essentially round out the totality in a holistic way of what we can offer our clients. So, that's really what works for us, actually.
Yeah. No, but look, we've seen that. We talked about the diverse nature of some of the members, but if you'd said to me 2 years ago you'll have agreements with tooling companies, I'd have gone, no, you wouldn't. But now we have 3, and it gives people access to, for those who want it. But you get prices based on the usages of the members with the higher usages, which would give you an opportunity that you wouldn't normally get.
Yeah, I mean the simple essence of it is, if we're dealing with the fire brigade, and in many cases they might not realize just the sheer scale of the product range really that we can actually offer them. But it makes so much sense, if they're getting competitive prices, of course, to buy more stuff from the same organization. There's all sorts of sort of hidden savings, administrative
100%.
savings, carriage.
I think when I was at
savings,
Rubik's, we used to average at about €150 for a cost of a transaction and an invoice. You start to strip that out by consolidating, and it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really a big part of our focus, actually. Thank you very much for coming today, Andrew.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Cheers, Simon.
Take
Thank you very much.